Hi guys, welcome to my video podcast. This is actually already the second time I'm doing this, and I swore that I would just whatever, I record it and then I send it out, but the lens I was using was so annoying. It was like blurry and not blurry, focusing on like the background and then on my face and then trying to show you stuff. So it was just a huge mess. So here I am doing this again. I'll be talking about my crafty adventures. I definitely go through phases with these. Currently it's completely knitting and yarn wool related hobbies for sure. But I plan to show you also, if I continue doing this, I really hope so. I noticed recording the first time that is really fun to do this, because yeah, like, I mean, you're talking to a camera, but I'm talking about it. Like, I mean, I have my husband here, but he really doesn't care that much. I mean, he likes looking at the finished pieces and all that, and he's like, oh, nice. But he doesn't care what yarn I use and all that stuff, so this is cool. This is fun. Yeah, and I hope you guys are interested. Anyway, so I hope I can continue to do this, and yeah, I plan to show you my other crafty routes I tend to take, which is like scrapbooking and drawing, painting, collaging, yeah, paper related things, I guess. I do some sewing. Actually, I have some sewing. Oh, well, do I have some sewing to show you? I mean, it's already done. I don't know. The first time I did this, it wasn't done. So it was like in the sewing segment. Now it's done. Nearly. Anyways, I'm going way ahead here. So, yeah. Let's just dive into this before I'm like having this 10-minute introduction and everybody's already tuned out. Knitting. Finished objects. I should mention, I'm in my baby year, mom year, maternity leave. I guess it's called maternity leave. So, and I have a very, very kind child, which sleeps a lot, and that gives me lots of time to knit. And actually to do this, like this, I thought was a perfect time to start this. Anyway, so you'll be seeing, I have 4 finished objects here, and 3 of them is baby knits. They're all fairly recent. I mean, the first episode, I guess, is kind of a cheat episode. I could show you every finished object I ever did, but obviously I'm not going to do this. We'd be here forever. So yeah, I just show you the ones that I recently finished, like within the last 2 months, I guess. Okay, let's just start. This one is a little dress for my daughter, and when I did this, I did this before she was born. By the way, she's 2 months now, FYI. I did this before she was born, so obviously she wouldn't fit her, and I realized that she probably will fit in this now. I need to try this on her. This is Eliza from, let me check, Tiger Hilliard Designs. And yeah, it's super simple. Like, it's mainly just right stitch. What's this called? It's not called right stitch. Stockinette stitch. Jesus. How many podcasts do I watch? How often do they say stockinette stitch? Whatever. Then there's some garter and rib detailing in the yoke, and on the back, yeah. I use some buttons. Actually, I think those buttons are like from one of my garments, you know, where you get those spare buttons, and they gave me 2, and I thought, well, they fit perfectly to this project. Yes, I knit this out of a yarn from Zauberwiese. It's 100% merino superwash, and there's 430 meters in 100 grams, and the colorway is called Steilküste 7831. I don't know, that might be the badge or something. Yeah, Steilküste is, I don't know, it's some kind of coast with like a steep, rough edge to it. I don't know how you would call it in English. I'm sure it has a fancy name. Yeah, it was nice. I think that's like a light fingering weight. And I really enjoyed this. I'm not too sure about the colorway. I think I would have preferred if the light gray would have been a white. Because, I don't know, makes it look just a teeny bit dirty. I don't know, might just be me. I still like it. But, yeah. It looks like I washed it with some dark colors or something. Anyways, it was a very fun knit. And yeah, I'm excited for her to wear it. The second finished object I have is a little hat, which she'll probably, yeah, well, right now it's way too big for her head. But it might fit her in the winter, that would be nice. So yeah, it has this little cable around the head and then this I-cord where you can close it. And I didn't find this pattern again. Yeah, it's a free pattern, that much I know, and it's by Lil Cat Design, but for some reason I couldn't find it when I was looking it up again, so I don't know what it's called, but this hat is inspired or knit after the hat that the Princess of England wore when she was born. Not that I know too much about it, I just thought it was a cute pattern. Not the younger brother, the older one. The younger is Harry. What's the older one called? I don't know. I was thinking about this the first time we recorded, didn't look it up. Whatever, if you're into it, you know, doesn't matter. I think his child wore this hat in white when she was born, and I thought it was very cute. Very, very cute. Yes, I knit this out of, what's this one called? Slow Lino by Lana Grossa. And it's a mix or blend made from 85% merino and 15% linen. And yeah, I really like the linen texture in this, and it's still super nice. I actually got this yarn for well, I just bought it. This was actually the very first yarn I ever just bought because I wanted to have it without a project in mind. When I buy yarn, I tend to already have a project for it in mind, and then I specifically buy yarn for it. But this I just bought on a whim, and then I went out and found a pattern for it because I love this yarn so much. So I knitted a shawl. I'm not going to show this one to you because I don't have it, otherwise I would have. As a present for my aunt's 60th birthday. Anyways, but obviously then I had the wrong amount for it. I had too much, and I didn't even touch this skein. I still had some left over, which I knit this from. I mean, you never really need that much yarn for baby knits. Yes, but I can only recommend this yarn. Really nice. The next finished object I have is a little cardigan. Also for my daughter. There we go. And this one is, so it's stockinette stitch in the back and the sleeves, and then it's garter stitch in the front, and it has this really nice kind of honeycomb pattern in the center panel, on the center panel, so it's asymmetric, doesn't close in the center, kind of sideways with buttons. These buttons actually I found in my grandma's stash that I inherited when she passed away. It's a huge stash mainly white buttons. So I don't know, I'll need to start knitting some white things that require buttons. But yeah, I thought it was cool because it was exactly the amount I needed for this project. So yay! This pattern is called Miel, French. Not very good at French. By Lisa Chimery or Frogginette. I don't know what name she goes by. Probably Frogginette, but the designer behind it is Lisa Chimery. Yes, and I knit actually the smallest size, the 3-month size, but I think my gauge was off. I didn't swatch for it actually, because I knitted something else with this yarn first, and I kind of just got the gauge off of that and then estimated what needle size I would need to get this gauge. But yeah, still ended up bigger, but I think it actually ended up better because like this 3-month size, and yeah, as I said, my daughter is 2. We have June now, so technically it would fit her next month. And like, we have 37 degrees right now. Like seriously, that's what they call for today. I don't know why I did this today. Like, I die pretty much every temperature above 25, maybe 26. That's probably like the highest where I still would say I'm comfortable. And we're like 10 degrees over that. Not yet. It's still early in the day, but it's supposed to become super hot in the afternoon. I don't know where we're at right now, but I need some powder. Anyways, yes, this would be way too warm next month. So I'm kind of glad it ended up being bigger. So it'll be a nice autumn, winter garment. And then I really hope it kind of grows with her, so she might be able to wear it all the way through to January. I don't know when they stop growing so fast. I mean, right now she's super little, and that's when they grow. Like, I mean, she grew 13 centimeters in the past 2 months, where I'm like, Jesus, stop growing. Ah. But I think it slows down. I don't think it goes exponentially higher. I think it kind of slows down. But yes, very excited about that. Oh yeah, hang on. The yarn I used for this is by Dererum Natura, and I used the yarn Penelope, which is a DK weight. Hello. A DK weight. It has 133 meters in 50 grams, and I use the colorway Galet. And yeah, there's a story with this yarn, which I'll get into with my next finished object, which is, let me show you. Wait. The Hunter Vest by Brooklyn Tweed. So it was originally designed for their Arbor yarn, Brooklyn Tweed Arbor, which is like 145 yards and 50 grams. So I found this homepage, webpage, whatever, online tool. Okay, now I mention it. Now I should link it. I don't know. I'll try to find it. I can't remember what it was called, but if I can find it, I put it into the information show notes. Is it called show notes? Down below. Anyways, it was this page where you could type in any brand of yarn. Obviously, it needs to be in their system, but whatever. Brooklyn Tweed Arbor definitely was in their system. And then it gives you alternatives for that, and it compares the yarn by various categories, like obviously like DK Sport, la, but also like if it's a 2-ply, 3-ply, super wash or not, and like the contents and all that. So, and then it gives you kind of what's it called? Best fit list, with obviously the best fitting ones up top and whatever, like 98% match. And then you can just kind of go down, and it also links you to sellers. I think it's an American page, so it links you to sellers in the US, but whatever. I thought it was super useful to find alternatives because, yeah, the Brooklyn tweed, it's a super pricey yarn, and I looked it up and punched in the amount of skeins I would need for this vest, and I was like, really? And let me show you the vest now. I finished this 2 days ago. Actually, the day before I recorded for this podcast the first time. It's really cool. I really like it. I knit it for my husband. He is very, very knit worthy. I knit him one sweater before, which he loves and he wears a lot, and the whole family is super jealous. Actually, my brother-in-law, they're not married, but whatever, the partner of my sister, he got one too now. My mom knitted that one for him, and my cousin now wants one too, and my aunt's supposed to knit that one for him, but she hasn't started yet. I don't know if he'll ever get one. Maybe I'll knit one for him. Anyways, so this is a Gamsey style vest. So it's all achieved with knit and purl. I think that's what Gamsey style means. Actually, never looked that up, but I believe so. Anyway, so the whole pattern is achieved with knit and pearls. So it's just this texture in the bottom, and then, I'm sorry, I kind of suck at showing this. And then up top it has this really nice kind of cable surrounding kind of an arrow pattern. It has a V-neck. The back's exactly the same, just without the V-neck, obviously. And yeah, just ribbing at the bottom. So yeah, this is actually the second time I knit this one. The first time I knit it out of this yarn, the one I knit the miel out of now. And the problem with that was this yarn showed up on this comparison homepage I was telling you about. It had like a, don't ask me, like 98% match or something. So, I mean, the main thing with this was that it's a, I think it's a 4-ply. Yeah, I think it's a 4-ply, and so it's a nice round yarn, which is super good for texture, that the texture shows up. Anyways, but my husband actually, he wanted a dark gray, but I couldn't find this yarn online in a dark gray, and I don't know, online it always looks a little bit different anyways, so this online actually looked a bit darker. So I asked him, what do you think of this? And he was like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So I ordered this yarn, but the problem was the skein I have here is 100% merino, and they only had 7 of that, and I needed 10. And they also had one with like the same, like was also the DK weight, same brand and all, and the same colorway, that also had 5% soak mixed in it. And I thought, I mean, online obviously it looked exactly the same, but yeah, so I ordered it, I had it here, and I think you might be able to tell. So this is the one that has the 5% silk in it, and this is the 100% merino. So this is just ever so slightly darker than this. So when I started knitting this vest, I was like, I just alternate skein and you won't be able to see. I don't know why I didn't think about, I have 5 of this and 3 of the other. Eventually I'm gonna run out of the 3. And I don't know, I think I just wanted to start knitting because I actually already got another yarn before I bought this one, but that already kind of was ruled out during swatching, so I'm not gonna go into that. But anyway, so I started knitting because I just really wanted to get going, and I thought, well, it won't be a problem if I just start alternating skein. Obviously it would, because I could actually already see, because I started the ribbing just with the one skein, and then I started to do helical knitting, and which was actually kind of weird with a texture pattern. I don't know if anybody knows how to deal with helical knitting in the texture pattern. I mean, I don't know. There is kind of a few knits in a row with this texture pattern, so I guess I just got lucky most of the times that it always like kind of fell into the knit section. But it was weird when you have like a purl and then following. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It didn't work 100% nicely. Like if you're really looking for it, you could see the helical knitting sometimes with the texture, because obviously you kind of skip over the pattern in places because you have like 2 rows at the same time. Or maybe I just didn't think about it too much because you have to kind of knit the next row up. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just not gonna go too much into detail. Anyways, it was okay. It wasn't too obvious or anything. But yeah, so I knit the whole body up to the sleeve separation and then halfway up the back. Actually, you start knitting the back first. And that's when I decided, no, not gonna do this. This is just gonna be a disaster. Like, I mean, it was many reasons. A, it was way too big. I didn't try it on sooner. I guess like in the beginning, it's always like bigger. You know, how it falls apart when you have it like just the loops without the bind off that kind of tugs it together. You can just stretch it out forever and ever. But yeah, like when I had it at the sleeve separation and tried it on, I was already like, oh, this looks pretty big. But he was planning on putting it over a shirt anyways, like not wear it like this, obviously. And I was like, well, it might be okay. But yeah, I don't know. And then I was starting to think, yeah, okay, I'm gonna run out of the second color. It's just like, then I have this weird line, and then I realized it would be the front panels too that would have just the one yarn. So if it were the back, maybe I could have overlooked it. And then also the color. I mean, I think it would have been okay, but I knew he kind of wanted a darker one, like I ended up using. And so I just decided, okay, I'll rip it back. Like, this yarn is very easy to rip back. It's not like mohair. I'll get to that. So I can use this for another project, which I already did with the soap balls. I still have to think of something with a 100% merino. Maybe it's gonna be a sweater for me. Actually thinking about the Nerea sweater from, what's her face? I can't think of the name. Lerke is her name. She's Danish. And Fiber Tales. From the Fiber Tales podcast. Right, she designed that one. Anyway, so the yarn I ended up using was not a very good fit, actually, if you would go back on the homepage there, because it's much thinner and it's a 2-ply. Is it a 2-ply? Oh no, it is a 3-ply. But anyways, it still is kind of like more halo-y. But I still think you can see the texture. Maybe not as good as you would have seen with this yarn, but it's subtle. I still like it. And yeah, so I used Filcolana. Yeah, Filcolana Pernilla. Pernilla, I don't know. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's 175 meters and 50 grams. And yeah, virgin wool. And it's nice. It kind of has this rustic look, but it doesn't feel super rustic. I think I could even wear like a scarf with this. And I'm kind of, what's the word? Like, I'm sensitive to itchy wool. Like I knit like a cardigan out of Isaga tweed, which I love the look of that yarn, and like it's kind of, yeah, I like the rustic look. That's the problem, I guess. I really like the rustic look, but obviously rustic yarns are kind of itchy, and that creates a little bit of a problem for me. So this is perfect because it has the rustic look totally, I think, but it's super soft. And it's not merino silk soft, but it's soft. So very nice to wear on your skin, even though he won't be, because yeah, it's to be worn over like a shirt. I think he's planning on wearing it like for Christmas time and like nicer occasions like that. So that's all my finished objects. Let's get into on the needles. I actually only have one project really on the needles right now, which is my total backup project, and it's a sock. It's the Hermione's everyday sock pattern that everybody probably already knows. Has this really nice texture. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's like heel flap and gusset kind of heel. And I don't know what you call the toes that are coming here. I'm not big on sock knitting at all. I think this is my third ever pair of socks. Maybe fourth, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who these socks are going to be for. Maybe actually for me. I'm mainly knit for other people, I realized. Because I don't know why, but I think projects for myself, I'm super picky. Like, it's a whole process to choose the right yarn and the right pattern. Do I like this? Do I like the color? And I want to use like really nice wool for it. And I don't know, then I never can decide, and then it takes so long that I don't like the pattern anymore, and then there's new patterns that are coming out, and I'm like, maybe I should knit this. And so yeah, I just basically can't decide on anything that I knit for myself. So I always end up knitting stuff for others, or I start knitting something for myself, like the shawl I mentioned that I knitted out of this. And then it was conveniently timed for my aunt's 60th birthday. I needed a present. I was like, maybe I could give her the shawl. But I love that shawl so much. I might actually knit that one again. Maybe even out of exactly the same yarn. Okay, the next project on the needles lives in my rice bag. This is actually the sewing project that I wanted to show you. I think I'll just do it now like this. I don't make an extra section for it. I inserted a clip from my very first try, where actually, 2 days ago, this was still a rice bag. I finished this morning. It's not done. So it's virtually just like a deep bag, and it has this little strap, so you're supposed to roll it all down, and then you can close it with like a little button thingy here. I think it's really cool. I have this green lining. I hope it's not super white, bright, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. But yes, in this bag lives at the moment just the yarn for the next project, which is the Zweig by Caitlin Hunter. I actually saw Nora from the Cat and White podcast knit this one, and I really liked it. I also liked her colors. I think she used like a green, forest green, bottle green for the body, and then this peach apricot for the yoke part, which I really liked. But I like green. I guess maybe I should just start knitting green, but I don't really have many green clothes in my wardrobe. I'm totally a blue person. Like, call me a Smurf. Like, I'm wearing blue. Like, this is blue. My pants are blue. Can you see them? So, definitely my favorite color. But yeah, I think maybe I start knitting some green, because I do like green as well. My husband loves green, so maybe I need some more green in my life. Anyways, the color I decided to knit this one in though, and I finally ordered some yarn from them. This is actually the first ever indie dyed or hand dyed yarn company I came across, which is Washbats und Wollmeise. I think Washbats is the husband, and he does metal works, and she's the Wollmeise, and she dyes yarn. And I got the pure base. No, it's not focusing on the yarn. Now it is. Yeah, I think the colors are coming out fairly accurate. So it's a dark gray, like an anthracite anthracite, I don't know how you pronounce that in English. The colorway is called Maus Alt, which is old mouse. They also have young mouse, which is like a light gray. Yeah, and these are super hefty skeins. Like it's 150 grams in one skein. They're actually super small. When I first saw them, when I unpacked them, I was like, whoa, that was so small. But yeah, like they're crazy tight. So when you unwind them and cake them up, I love caking up yarn. Anybody else has that? Like, I find there's nothing more satisfying than seeing caked up yarn. Like virtually, I opened this package and I had to cake up one yarn. So I caked up the anthracite. So because I still wanted to show you the actual skein, I have two variegated ones, which now are caked up because I just couldn't wait because I love it so much. Because I did this podcast before, but I'll insert how they look in the skein. But this is what I'm planning to use for the yoke. Now it just looks black and white speckled. But yeah, this colorway is called Birkenrinde, which is birch bark, which I find super fitting. And yeah, I'm really curious to see this one knit up. And yeah, very excited for this project. So I started swatching. Obviously I'm losing stitches here. Started swatching. I think I have to go down a needle size. I'm already noticing this is quite see-through. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, there against the background it's fairly see-through. Now I think I have enough. But I already like it's just this super subtle variegation in the color. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell. That's what I like about the hand-dyed yarns. I just like that it's just like ever so slightly mauled, even if it's like a solid. And yeah, it just gives it a little bit of interest. So yes, very happy. I'm really looking forward to actually cast on this project. When I ordered this yarn, I also ordered some yarn for another project that I might also cast on, even though I'm a fairly monogamous knitter, I would say. I do have multiple things on the needles, but it's mainly the socks that just stay on the needles forever and ever, and whenever I have like a short break with, I don't know, I'm done with a pattern, I might knit a few rows on it or something, but then I have something else which I'm then focusing on. But anyways, maybe I'll do these projects simultaneously, because I'm planning to cast on for the Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Maury. And this pattern is knit with mohair and non-mohair. I don't know, some light fingering. She uses hedgehog fibers in her sample. Yes, but the story with the mohair. Let me show you. Again, this is caked up because I couldn't wait. So this is also Wollmeise yarn. Again, pure base merino superwash under 100%, and this is the Barista colorway. And with this, I'm planning to use mohair. There we go. And the mohair is by Drops Kid Silk Long Print, and the colorway is called Meeresgrün, which is ocean green. And yes, I used this mohair actually with another project, which I ripped back last week because I finally decided, okay, I'm not going to finish this. I think I cast that one on like 3 years ago. It was a pattern out of a magazine, but I just didn't like it anymore. It was like an asymmetric sweater with like mohair and merino stripes. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't going to wear it. and I wasn't going to finish it. I think that was a problem. I mean, I screwed it up a little bit because I changed the pattern. I made it cinch in more in the waist, but I never changed a pattern before, so it was kind of weird, and I did differently in the front than the back. And yeah, I tried ribbing it back. I did salvage a lot of the merino yarn I used for it. Not quite as much of the mohair, because ribbing back mohair is just the worst. It's like, it's impossible. Like it just gets tangled so much, and you start ripping the yarn, and I didn't want to have to use like all these millions of pieces. So yeah, I might cast that one on fairly soon. I'm very excited for that. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you the bag. Actually, the Wollmeise yarn came in. That's this, and it has all these translations from German to English on it, all these knitting terms, which for me would have been useful a few years ago, but I think now it could be very useful for my mom, who was kind of in the same shoes as I was. I mean, I guess my English is a bit better than hers, because I mean, I spent a few years in Canada and New Zealand, so I had, I guess, the time and the chance to practice my English, but my mom only has her rustic school English, and yeah, like, she loves knitting, and I kind of showed her the world of Ravelry and all the patterns there, but yeah, lots of these don't have German translations, so she asks me, now I can, because she kind of gets the gist, but obviously if it's like technical terms, you have to look it up, and you can't really look up, I don't know, anybody knows like a good homepage where you can look that up? Because I find like usual dictionaries don't really have the knitting terms there. Now I have one. It's a little bit practical in size, but maybe I can cut it up and give it to her like that. Yes, so that was all my knitting. Wow. I think it's quite a lot. I don't know. I hope it wasn't too much. I'll see how much footage I have. I guess I'm at 45 minutes now. Okay. This is going to be a long podcast. I'm sorry, guys. It's the first one. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about my very new rabbit hole I'm diving down, which is spinning. Yeah, I got myself a drop spindle, and this is all, what's that, I ever spun. So as expected, very first yarn I ever spun. It's super thick and thin, but I don't know, I don't think it's too bad. It's pretty bad. Let's face it. And it already feels like rope. I don't think I would ever want to knit anything out of this, but I don't think you're supposed to knit anything out of your ever first spun yarn. So with this, like, it's a huge clunky thing. It's super heavy, and like other podcasters who actually can spin, other spinners, like, they have these super tiny, cute looking spindles and all that, but this seems to be what they recommend for beginners. So this is what I ordered, and with the beginner set came this box of yarn, or fiber, I guess. It's not yarn yet. Yeah, and it's fun. It's actually really fun. I don't find it as easy to do with my newborn around, because I don't know, this thing gets out of control. Like, it spins and it drops, like the yarn rips a million times, and so I haven't really had that much time to do this yet, and this is actually not the way I want to go, although I kind of want to learn it and see if I can actually produce some cool yarn with this method. But actually, maybe I should start the other way around. Like, I kind of stumbled upon the Tiny Fiber Studio with Bags. And she spins, like, she knits too, but I think her main passion is spinning, and she's super good. Like, she does this series called 51 Yarns, which goes along with a Ply magazine, and yeah, like there's like a million techniques and different yarn types that she's spinning. Like, she makes every like single episodes for that, which I found that super interesting to watch, and she seems a super nice person as well, which makes it enjoyable to watch. And and kind of that just got the whole spinning thing in my head. And she uses an e-spinner most of the time. She also has like normal traditional wheels, I guess, where you have to foot pedal. But yeah, so I really wanted to start spinning as well. And obviously I looked into getting myself a wheel, but realized really quickly that these things are super expensive. Like, I mean, I guess you can get wheels starting from like 200 euros or something, or 250, I think was one I found. But even that, for something I have no idea if I actually gonna like it or not, I thought was a bit much. So I checked if there's like used wheels, but there you mainly find like scrapyard, basement, kind of what people found there. And then you have no clue if it's actually functioning, if it's not just a decorative thing. And I don't know anything about spinning wheels. Like, I don't know what parts need to be in order and non-squeaking and whatever not, or just parts that need to be there for a spinning wheel to function. So I didn't really felt qualified enough to go shopping for one, let alone on like eBay, where you can't actually see the wheel. So yeah, naturally I decided to build myself one. I first thought about building myself an actual spinning wheel, but realized an e-spinner is much easier to construct, because there you just need to buy some electrical parts and ask your husband to build you a nice box around it. So I got myself some stuff. So I decided to just buy the flyer as is, because building that seems, I mean, I'm sure my husband could do it, but there's lots of round things which I think turn out best if you have, I don't know what that tool is called, but you know, where you have like spinning things and you just kind of hold your tools so they turn out nice and even. He doesn't have that because he's a carpenter, so he doesn't really need that. He's not a furniture maker where he could need that. So yeah, I just decided to buy this. Anyways, there's all these metal parts that you would have to buy anyways, and I don't even know if you can buy that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I got an Ashford flyer for, I think, the traditional wheel, and this is with the moving thingies here that you can put your yarn on the bobbin nice and even. And I got 3 bobbins with it, so I've 2 more here, which I thought I could at least make a 2-ply, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I really hope this ends up working though, because I'm so impatient. I just want to start spinning. I'm following along a guy on Ravelry actually. I think the thread is called Building the Acadian in the e-spinner subgroup thing. And yeah, like he gives you links of the parts he purchased. So this is, for instance, where I found this thing which basically like gives you the option of like turning the motor speed up and down and switching it on and off and making it go both ways and stuff. Yeah, but like there's a million parts I need for this. Like, you know, you need the cable from the power, then you need a little plug thing that to go into your machine, and you need all the wirings to connect all your weird parts in the middle. I mean, I'm an engineer, but I'm not an electrical engineer by any means. I did some electrical work before, so at least I know how to solder. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I hope I won't explode it the very first time I try to turn it on. But yeah, I'm still in the process of getting all the parts, and I need to choose wood to make actually the box that the yeast burner is kind of contained in. We'll see. I keep you updated with how this comes along. I really hope I get this done sooner rather than later, or my husband, because I made him build this for me, and he said, I'll do it if you buy the parts and are kind of make it work. You'll build me the box. And so that's what we're going to do. But we do have a whole other project lined up for this summer, which I'm not going to get into too much, but I really hope that I get to film the process off. That's mainly going to be my husband's project, but we kind of planned it together, but I'll be probably watching our little one while he's doing the work, because that has to do with woodworking. And yeah, so loud tools and all that, not so good with a baby around. I'll join in once the loud stuff is done. Yes, but this is it. Thank you for watching. I really hope this wasn't super weird and awkward and boring. Let me know what you thought. If you have any tips on improving this, please don't rip me apart. I'm very new to this. I'm very sensitive. Yeah. I hope you liked it, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.